Rama versus Rama. So, as we know, after the wedding, Rama and his wife, Rama, Lakshmana, Bharata, Shatrughna, and their respective wives, along with Dasharatha, they all started their journey from Mithila towards Ayodhya. And at this moment, Dasharatha experienced something which, unfortunately, in today's world, some people like to call it as something not so intelligent people believe in it. They call it as Mudha because they think that a cat crossing our path, that's what is that nonsense? No, it's not nonsense. It is called as Shakuna Shastram. It is definitely mentioned as Shakuna. The word Shakuna, although refers to a bird, you have to study birds very carefully. You have to listen to birds very carefully. So that denotes something. It's a part of Jyotisha. It's not a story. It's not a myth. It's not fiction. It is true. It is science. Only if you know how to study it. Now, this is the first instance in the entire Ramayana. The whole of Ramayana has got plenty of such instances, but this is the first instance where Valmiki, through the words of, through the mouth of Dasharatha, mentions a few shakunas. It says that the birds are sounding ridiculous. I mean, they are making some harsh sounds. They are making some bad, ugly sounds. And at the same time, the animals are denoting that they are going around me clockwise. If any animal crosses you or surrounds you clockwise, it is known to be a good omen. If you hear any bird singing very cruelly or very ugly, then it is considered to be a bad omen. Omens. This is the subject here. So here, Dasharatha faces a conflict because on one hand, the birds are denoting him something, and on the other hand, the animals are suggesting him otherwise. So he was confused. He could not come to a conclusion. Even though he had studied omens, he could not come at a conclusion. So he approached Vasishtha and he asks Vasishtha, what is the meaning of this? I'm experiencing both varieties of omens. What do you intend by this? What do you infer by this? So he says that, see, it's very simple. There is soon going to be a danger coming at your way. Something is going to happen to you, but you will survive that. You will come out with flying colors. That's the intended meaning. That's the inferred meaning of this Shakuna. We call it as Shakuna. So after the moment Vasishtha stopped saying this, at the end of Vasishtha's words, there came a hurricane. All of a sudden, this entire place was covered with blackish clouds. Pitch black clouds appeared, and there was a huge wave coming, and everybody was scared. They could not see each other. They never understood what is happening with them. And at this moment came Parashurama, all the way from Mahendra Parvata, because he heard when the gods spoke that Rama has broken Shiva Dhanus. Shiva happens to be Parashurama's guru. Chapacharyas Tripura Vijayi, the one who won over Tripura, happened to be Parashurama's guru. So Parashurama was taught by Parameshwara. So he had highest regard for his guru. And when he heard that the Dhanus, which once belonged to Shiva, was broken by a boy, barely a man. So he was angered. He was enraged. So he appeared in front of Rama. And as soon as Vasishtha and every other person, when they saw him, Viśvāmitra was not in the scene. Viśvāmitra's job was done. And unattachedly, as the great sages always are, He left that place. He said that I'm going to do my tapas. I'm not interested. See, whatever I had to give to Rama, I have given. I have shaved Rama. Now it is up to him. He will survive on his own. There is no requirement of me. So Viśvāmitra had already gone. Now, there was only Vasishtha to guide them, because Vasishtha had an obligation. He is the Kulaguru of Dasharatha and Rama. So he was there. So Vasishtha decided that we must approach Parashurama and appease him. We should please him. So they went there and they said that Rama Rama iti mudram vacha. They calmed him down. So after Parashurama was calmed down, so he says that I heard whatever happened. And I did not see you breaking that Shivadhanus. So I don't know exactly. I cannot believe in hearsay. If I believe in the words of other people, when they say that a boy named Rama broke Shivadhanus, it would be hearsay. It would never be allowed in a court. So since this is Rama versus Rama, so Parashurama's argument was, I have not seen you breaking that Shivadhanus. So why don't you, I have brought you one more. Why don't you break this Dhanus and show me how strong you are? If you are able to lift this Dhanus, if you are able to break this Dhanus, then I will consider you a worthy opponent. So it's not going to end there according to Parashurama. So according to Parashurama, the challenge consisted 2 stages. In the first stage, Rama was supposed to lift the Dhanus that he was going to give him. And he had to break that Dhanus. And after breaking that Dhanus, that would determine Rama's proficiency, Rama's capability as a warrior. And then Parashurama would have a one-on-one battle with Rama. Now, Dasharatha was scared. Poor Dasharatha. Now, how many times he has to face this kind of a situation? First, it was Viśvāmitra who dragged Rama away from him. And now Parashurama, he is hell-bent. Parashurama is hell-bent on defeating Rama. All right. And everybody is and should be, every Kshatriya should be always scared of Parashurama. Because this man went around the world 21 times, not once. He went around the world 21 times, killing all the bad kings. Not just kings, bad kings. Whoever was bad, whoever was becoming just simply a weight for this bhumi, for this earth, they were all killed by Parashurama. Not once, twice, thrice, 21 times. So they were all scared that whether he wishes to begin one more cycle, season 22. No, Parashurama's intention was not about starting season 22 of Kshatravadham. He just wanted to face Rama. He just wanted to know what Rama is made up of. So Dasharatha was obviously very scared. And then they began appeasing him. See, you are born in such a great family. You are actually a Brahmana. You are supposed to be involved in Adhyayanam and Tapasya. Why do you always carry an axe with you, which actually scares us? Even the Kshatriyas are scared of Parashurama. And all this happened, and he tried to convince him that why don't you let him go? He's just married. He has been just married now, and why don't you let him go? He said no. He was not even listening to Dasharatha. Parashurama was not even heeding to Dasharatha's words. He was speaking only to Rama. So he says that, see, these two, do you know the history of these two Dhanus? The Dhanus that you broke back in Mithila, in the court of Janaka, it was once a part of a great battle. The battle took place between Shiva and Vishnu. How we love battles. So it was actually done, or it was actually manufactured by Vishwakarma. The Devatas, the gods, he is their sculptor, divine sculptor, Vishwakarma. And they asked him to manufacture 2 great Dhanus. And he did that. And the gods went to their forefather, their Pitamaha, their grandfather, Brahma, and they asked that we want to know who is greater than whom. Is Shiva greater than Vishnu or Vishnu greater than Shiva? This was their question. So Tadatu Devata Sarvaha Prichanti Sma Pitamaham. They were asking Pitamaha, that is Brahma, Shitikanthasya Vishnoscha Balabala Nirikshaya. They just wanted to see who is more powerful, who is more stronger than whom. Either it is Shiva or Vishnu. Garuda Gamana Vrishabhavahana. So that is the concept. Yeah? So he went there. Pitamaha said that Brahmaji, he said that, okay, fine, we will do something just to see who is stronger than whom. So he created a rift deliberately between Shiva and Vishnu. And they both began fighting each other. It was an epic battle between Parameshvara and Mahavishnu. And finally, Parameshvara's Dhanus was defeated by Vaishnava Dhanu. And the moment this was defeated, Parameshvara went back home. And he understood that this was all because of these gods. He had no bad opinion about Vishnu. They were not about conflicting nature. They are very friendly. Shivasya Hridayam Vishnu, Vishnoscha Hridayam Shiva. If you want to listen to this story in the form of two people, this is how the story is narrated. But it has got a different significance as well. Because Vishnu denotes Sattva and Parameshvara denotes Tamas. Because one is the Sthitikaraka, another one is Layakaraka. This entire story has a different background, which we cannot decode. We can only speculate. Even what I said is mere speculation. Because we don't know, we have lost that tradition. We have lost the tradition of understanding the Pauranika stories, the stories of Purana in this way. Anyway, moving on. After the Dhanus was defeated, the Devatas, they stopped giving the share of the sacrifices, of the yagas to Parameshvara. Now you remember the first story that I explained? Yes. That's when Parameshvara decided to punish the Devatas. So that's when he took that Dhanus again. But then they apologized to him. They started giving his share. And that's when Parameshvara gave his Dhanus, which was already defeated. Your Honor, please note this point that Dhanus, that particular Dhanus was already defeated. And all the commentators, they have used the word Shithilitam. It had weakened. It has lost its essence, not charm, but that Dhanus, that Shaiva Dhanus had lost its essence. So he gave it to Devarata, the ancestor of Janaka. And Vishnu was not interested in keeping this Dhanus as well, because he has Sharangarava with him. Sorry, not Sharangarava. He has his own particular Dhanus with him. He does not want to accumulate weapons, Vishnu. So he gave it to Richika. Richika happened to be an ancestor who belonged to the Bhrugu Vamsha, to which family belonged Parashurama. So Parashurama had got Vaishnava Dhanus, that is Vishnu's Dhanus, from his family members. So that was kept in their family. And Shaiva Dhanus was kept in Mithila, and this was kept in Bhrugu Vamsha. Now, after narrating the history of this Dhanus, he presented it to Rāma. Parashurama gave this to Rāma and asked him to try and pull that string as long as he can. Rāma did that. It was very simple for him. And he underestimated. Parashurama had underestimated Rāma, but Rāma easily broke another Dhanus. What is wrong with Rāma? I mean, in a span of a week, in a span of 7 days, he has broken 2 legendary Dhanus. Something must be wrong with Rāma, right? Is he on a spree to break all the Dhanus? Does Rāma have no regard to history? Does Rāma like breaking artifacts, historical monuments. Is this the Rama? Is this the kind of Rama that you praise so much? A man who broke 2 historical dhanus. But that's not the case here. Okay, we can rest easy. So once that dhanus was, he took that, before breaking it, he pulled that string up to his ear, up to his right ear, and then he put an arrow to it. And he told Parashurama that since I have put an arrow to the bow, I cannot take it back. That is Rama for you. That's why we call it as Rama Banam. It doesn't come back. Once it is put to it, it must reach its destiny. Now he asked Parashurama, this Vaishnavam, this arrow that I have placed it in this Vaishnava Dhanus, this cannot go wasted. So this needs to have a target. Tell me, O Brahmana Parashurama, tell me, whom should I target? Should I target you? Should I target your tapasya? What should I do? At this moment, Parashurama accepted his defeat. So he said that I totally accept my defeat. I'm thoroughly defeated. So there are 2 things. First thing, when I won this entire world after traveling 21 times, I conquered many places. I conquered this entire world. And then I gave it all back to Kashyapa, my guru. So Kashyapa, he told me that I should not stay in this land that I have already given as dhanam to him. Because once you have given your possession to somebody, you don't have any ownership towards that particular thing. So I cannot stay in this particular world, in this entire world. I cannot stay in any place because I had already given everything to Kashyapa. So he has granted me a special permission, and that permission is my walk. He was able to travel anywhere. As speed, in the speed of light, he could travel like the speed of light. He could travel anywhere. So he called it as Manojavam. What is the fastest thing in this world? Light? No. Mind. Mind is the fastest thing because it changes so quickly. No? So Manojavam, we call it as Manojavam. Manojavam is the speed of the mind. So he had that ability to reach Mahendra Parvata every night. He could not stay in this earth, Parashurama. So now Parashurama requested Rama that, see, I have earned so many other lokas through my tapas, through my penance. Why don't you use this arrow and take away all the belongings of me, all the achievements? You're playing a game, a computer game or a mobile game, and you have accumulated wealth, or you have crossed several levels, and you are in some different zone there, and everything can be taken away. Just like that, you have to imagine like that. This is for the millennials. The rest of us can understand what it means. So he had gained so many access. He had gained access to many lokas, the lokas which were hitherto unconquered. So Parashurama says that these are the 2 options. So why don't you take away all my lokas, all my belongings of tapasya, and please leave me with this gati. Don't take this gati off me. Rama heartily accepted it, and the moment Rama shot that arrow, it actually took away all the lokas that Parashurama had conquered, and he was left with only his gati, only his walk, and he walked away to Mahendra Parvata. And then Parashurama, before going, he told Rama that Nacheyantavaka kuchtha vrida bhavitumarhati. I am not ashamed of myself that I was defeated by you, because now I have understood who you are, who you truly are. Now, if you remember, Viśvāmitra had long ago told Dasharatha that Aham vedmi mahatmanam Ramam satya parakramam vasishtopi mahatejaha yeche me tapasi sthitaha. This is the shloka. So he says that I know who Rama is, Viśvāmitra's words, and Vasishtha knows who truly Rama is. And there are a few people who are into the tapas, who are tapashila, who practice tapasya every day. They know who truly Rama is. So Parashurama, all of a sudden, as soon as all his unwanted ego was removed from him in the form of, it was significant, it was symbolic, that's all. When Rama removed took away the lokas that he had conquered through his tapasya, it symbolized something. And what was it symbolic of? It was symbolic of taking away Parashurama's ego. What is the biggest enemy of a Brahmana? Ego. And Parashurama was a Brahmana and he had huge ego, and that was defeated. The moment it was defeated, he realized who truly Rama is. Such a great Brahmana. He belonged to Bhrigu Vamsha. The Bhrigus are known to be knowledgeable men. So Parashurama was able to understand. He could see himself. He envisioned Rama. He realized that Rama is the true one. So he said that I have understood who you truly are. So I don't consider this as a defeat. I don't think I was thoroughly defeated by you. I take this as a correction in my path. I was going in the wrong path and I am corrected. I stand corrected now. That's what Parashurama told Rama, and he went away. And then Rama did not want to keep hold of that Dhanus either. True to his words, Rama, because he was already gifted with a Dhanus and he will receive plenty more gifts in future as well. So he did not want that Vaishnava Dhanus. So what he did was he gave it to Varuna, because all these gods had assembled there to see this conflict happening between a Brahmana and a Kshatriya. It happened once before between Vasishtha and Kaushika. They all witnessed the power of Brahmana. Now, here, again, the same conflict, version 2, Brahmana versus Kshatriya, Brahma versus Kshatra 2.0. But this time the result was totally different. Why? Because he was wrong. Parashurama was wrong. He was egoistic. So he must be defeated. So his ego was taken away. The moment his ego was taken away, he realized that he was on the wrong path and he stands corrected. So anyway, as he was the representative, Varuna was the representative of all the gods assembled there to witness the battle between Rama and Parashurama. So Rama gave that Dhanus to Varuna, and then happily they all went back to, they all reached Ayodhya. So with this story, the Balakandam ends in Ramayana. Now, there are a few observations that we need to see. The first and foremost is, this was not a Dhanam. The two Dhanus, we are talking about the two Dhanus, Shaiva Dhanus and Vaishnava Dhanus. Both of them were not the gifts given to Devarata and Richika. In fact, they simply had given it to take care of it. It was not, the ownership of that particular Dhanus was not entirely shifted or transferred to either parties, either by Shiva or by Vishnu. The ownership of that Dhanus always remained with Shiva and Vishnu. They never transferred the ownership. They had just, they had given it to Devarata and Richika as a token of grace, as a token of anugraha. They had told that to take care of it. Now comes the question. If it was given as, this is what we call it as nyasa. Because Valmiki uses the word nyasa everywhere. He does not say it as it was a dhanam. He uses the kriyapada dattam, but he never calls it as a dhanam, which means what happens in dana is transfer of ownership happens in dana. Whereas in nyasa, there is a slight difference between nyasa and dana. In dana, total transfer of ownership happens of a particular thing to another person. Whereas in a nyasa, only the thing is kept with that person, not the ownership. He's only asked to take care of that particular thing. It's like leasing out our property. If you have a piece of land and if you don't sell it, if you sell it, you are transferring the ownership of that land to another person. But if you lease it, you are not entirely transferring your ownership of that particular land, isn't it? So it was leased to Devarata and Richik. Shivadhanus was leased to Devarata by Shiva, and Vaishnava Dhanus was leased to safe custody kind of arrangement. Yes, exactly. Yes, exactly. Thank you. So that was the kind of arrangement it was done. So this is not a problem at all. There's no problem in handing it over to somebody to take care of it as a token of anugraha. It has been done before. But the question is, nyasa should be, we call it as nyasa in Sanskrit. So nyasa should be protected by all means. It should be protected with one's life. That's why there is a famous saying in Sanskrit, in Dharma Shastra, where they say that kashtam nyasasya rakshanam. It's very difficult to protect a thing which is nyasa, because they have entrusted us. They have given this thing with utmost trust on us, and we cannot break the trust. We have to take care of that particular item with all our heart. If this is the case, then the question here is, how did Rama break Shaivadhanus? He broke Shivadhanus, right? So if it was a nyasa, if it was given as a, not as a gift, but it was given to take care of it, if it was a safe study kind of thing, then you are not supposed to break it. And whoever breaks it, he commits a sin. It's a wrong thing to do. It's a crime actually, to destroy a nyasa padartha. Rama did it. This is first case on Rama. Okay, he is accused of destroying a nyasa padartha. All right, and the same thing, along with this, we can put a litigation on Janaka as well. How dare Janaka put that as a challenge? He put it as a panam, as a challenge. It's wrong. You're not supposed to use it for your own benefit, for your own gains. So why did he put Shivadhanus as a pana, as a challenge? Because he wanted to find the right guy for his daughter Sita. So in order to find the right guy for his daughter Sita, Janaka actually put Shivadhanus, which was supposed to be taken care of, as a challenge. Isn't this very wrong? Now you have understood the nature of this case. But now comes the opposing counsel's argument. If you had paid attention, Shivadhanus was defeated in the battle, in the conflict between Shiva and Vishnu. Shivadhanus was already defeated. That which is defeated loses its essence. It loses its soul. It loses its atma. It becomes shithila. It becomes weakened from within, which means, in other words, it has no value. So if it was already broken from within, so when Rama pulled that string of Shivadhanus, it broke by itself. He did not break it deliberately. That's why I told you, pay attention to the words of Rama when he said, Samsprushamiha Panina. These were the words of Rama. He said that I shall touch this Shivadhanus, this great Dhanus. So his intention was not to break it deliberately. It was not an act of deliberation. It was already broken. He merely touched it and it broke. It had not gained that break physically. It was already broken from within. That Dhanus was already broken from within. He just gave it the physical or the mortal shape of that break to that particular Dhanus. So with this argument, you can free Rama of the allegation that was put on him, saying that Rama broke the nyasa, because nyasa should never be broken. How do you determine this? How can you arrive at such a conclusion that Rama was so careful, or Rama was aware of the situation of nyasa? Because it was, what did he do with Vaishnava Dhanus? He could have easily kept that Dhanus for himself, right? He had defeated the owner of that Dhanus. Who was the owner of Vaishnava Dhanus at that particular moment? We all think the answer was Parashurama, but it is not Parashurama, because the ownership of Vaishnava Dhanus was never transferred to Bhrugus. It always remained with Vishnu. And the manufacturers were the gods, the devatas. So what did Rama do with Vaishnava Dhanus? He could have easily packed it and took it to Ayodhya. And he could have shown it to the people of Ayodhya that along with Sita, along with the bride, I have won a Dhanus as well. He did not win that in a duel. It was never a question of winning. He understood the point of nyasa. That is the reason why he returned that Vaishnava Dhanus back to the manufacturers. Those who intended to make that Dhanus in the first place were the gods. So he sent it back to them, gave it back to them, whereas he could have easily kept it for himself. What does it show? It shows that Rama knew the subtleties, the nuances, the essence of protecting nyasa. If he did not know anything about nyasa, then he would have easily kept that Dhanus for himself. But he did not. Instead, he gave it back to the devatas. That clearly shows that Rama did not deliberately break Shiva Dhanus. It was already broken. If it was already broken, the question is, how come none of the other kings were able to lift it? Because none of them were Rama. That is your answer. If they were Rama, then they would have been able to identify. They were not able to identify because they were not at that superior level of sattva. You require this superior level of sattva to identify if a particular thing is already broken from within or not. And in order to identify whether a particular thing is broken from within or not, you don't require Miley Cyrus's songs. Okay, you don't require any person's face to understand it. You see it, you will get it. Because if you have the highest level of sattva, because everything in this world is because of three gunas, right? Sattva, Rajas, and Tamas. Without these three gunas, there is nothing in this world. If you have gained control over these three gunas, or if you have moved, if you are elevated above the three gunas, then you are not bothered with the three gunas, with the happenings of three gunas. So you will be able to identify it very easily. Point number one. Point number two is, if you remember correctly, there was one quality, there was one attribute that Valmiki had asked Narada in the beginning of Ramayana. Atmavan. See, this Atmavatvam, Atmavan means one who is self-aware, one who is aware of his self with a capital S, one who knows who he truly is, one who has understood one who has identified his true form, one who has gained his true form, is called as a self-aware person. He is called as an Atmavanta or Atmavan. A king is supposed to be an Atmavan. And this is not me speaking. This is Chanakya speaking directly from his Arthashastra. I am quoting you directly from Arthashastra. Chanakya says that a king must be an Atmavan. And if I say this to modern day, the policy makers and government people, they would not understand. What has it got to do with being Atmavanta? You cannot bring these two qualities together. No, it is the essential quality. It is the utmost vital quality for a king. So Rama, this particular incident, this entire episode shows that Rama was an Atmavan. He understood the things. Only who is an Atmavan will be able to know, just by looking at a particular thing or particular person, he would be able to know where exactly this particular thing is, or what state of level, or what level, what is the dharma, what is the exact dharma. Dharma is condition. In what exact condition is this particular thing? Only a true yogi, only a true Atmavan will be able to know. And this entire episode puts onus on Rama being an Atmavan. So I told you earlier, all the 16 attributes that Valmiki asked about, the entire Ramayana is simply a commentary on all those 16 attributes. And this is merely just an instance that I'm showing. And throughout Ramayana, we will find plenty of such instances. Some could be decoded, some are not decoded. So this is the case of Rama versus Rama, where I would not say Rama was victorious. There is no question of victory here. He was, there was a wrong allegation on Rama. He was not found guilty. We can simply say that Rama was not found guilty of breaking Nyasa. Because if Rama broke Nyasa, you can never call Rama as an epitome of dharma. How can you call a man who broke Nyasa as Vigrahavan dharma? You can never call Rama a Vigrahavan dharma if he broke Shivadhanus. Shivadhanus was already broken. Rama simply touched it. It needed to happen. We are talking about a man who was not even required to touch Ahalya, who was stoned. I mean, not that kind of stone, who was in the form of a stone due to a curse. He did not have to touch Ahalya, who was in the form of a stone. He just had to enter the premises, and Ahalya gained her Swarupa. Just imagine the level of sattva Rama was. This is purely in the way of thinking that Rama was a yogi, was a great yogi. Now, our problem is we have imagined all our yogis as people who reside in forest, who have a long beard, and they're not interested in statecraft or in politics. That's not the case. Even a king needs to be an Atmavan. Even a king needs to be self-aware. So this point highlights what exactly are we missing. It's very easy to say that we should, India should become a Rama Rajyam. It's so very easy to utter the words Rama Rajyam, isn't it? A man has built a fortune on it. And he has only removed Yakara from Rama Rajya, and he has made a fortune out of it. And another great fellow, he became the father of this entire nation by appealing to the people that we should aim for Rama Rajya. But who has understood Rama exactly? Have we ever tried to understand the heart of Valmiki? Here lies the heart of Valmiki, where he mentions what Rama truly is. He was a yogi. He was a yogi of the highest standard. Now, we have heard that there are, speaking from the perspective of an astrologer or from the study of astrology, there are certain doshas, there are certain things which cannot be removed by any pariharas. No matter how many ever solutions you do, how many ever japa, puja, archana, homa, anything you do, dana, it cannot be removed. Few things are, they're based on, they are honest. And even such kind of doshas can be removed if we can find a guru, if we can find a yogi, if we can find an avadhuta. Rama is that kind of a guru. Rama is that kind of a yogi. Rama is that kind of an avadhuta. We don't want to see Rama in this way. All we know about Rama is he was an insensitive person. You tell me, do you seriously think a person who is a yogi, who is at that level of yoga, who is at that level of sattva, self-awareness, could he ever be insensitive to anyone? I don't think so. You can answer it for yourselves. I'm just trying to say I'm just trying to put Rama's case forward to you. Rama was not guilty of breaking any kind of nyasa. So the words for Rama called Ramo Vigrahavan Dharmaha are still intact. There is no way that Rama could be accused of breaking the law, because he is the law. He is the dharma. But by law, I mean dharma. He could no way break dharma because he himself is dharma. How can he break himself? He was able to identify that Shivadhanus was already broken. It's the power of sattva. It's the power of that highest level of yoga, to be that samadhiman. Atmavan is samadhiman. And you may ask this question that this is not mentioned in any of the commentaries. This is entirely derived from 4 chapters of Valmiki Ramayana's Balakandam by the usage of words of Valmiki. There are certain words used by Valmiki which gives us an insight, which gives us access to these kind of things. If you think enough, if you dig deeper enough, then you will find these kind of truths hidden in Valmiki's Ramayana. This is just one small example of how great Valmiki is as a poet. If we are speaking in perspective of literature, could you find any other literature of this level? Not even Kalidasa could match Valmiki. That's why Valmiki is called as Adi Kavi. Even Kalidasa accepts that without Valmiki, he was nothing. He called Valmiki as Kavi Prathama Paddhatihi. So here is Valmiki to you. And 3 lectures, and if we did not understand the essence of Valmiki, why are we actually following Valmiki's Ramayana? Why not some other versions of Ramayana, which is more dramatic, more engaging, more romanticized? No. We want to hear the words of Valmiki, the one true great poet who actually saw what Rama is. And according to him, this is Rama for you. Actually, this is a very nice place to conclude today's session. It's already time, and we have 15 minutes left. We can begin with Ayodhya Kandam in the coming week.